If you ever look at that word. Okay. All right, I got a long one here for you, and then I'm going to hand things off to Randy. My long one. Let's see. It is: a coach grimaced as he watched a young ice hockey team. At one point during the game, he called one of his 7-year-old players over, and he says, "Do you understand what cooperation is? What a team is?" And the little boy nodded affirmatively. "Do you understand that what matters is not whether we win or lose, but how we play together as a team?" Little boy nodded once more. "So," the coach continued, "I'm sure that you know that when a penalty is called, you shouldn't argue, curse, attack the referee, or call him a peckerhead. Do you understand that?" The little boy said, "Yeah, I get it." Then he continued, "And when I call you off the ice so that another boy gets a chance to play, it's not good sportsmanship to call your coach a dumb asshole, is it?" And the little boy says, "Yeah, I get that." "Good, now explain that to your mother." And with that, we're going to hand things off to Randy. So, Randy, get up here and make us laugh, please.
Yay, Randy!
Yay, Randy!
Howdy, folks. How y'all doing?
Oh, great!
Y'all looking good out there. You know that? That'll make me jealous. Every single last one of you. Yes, sir, Bob. All right, now, I got to get my Kindle going. I had a little trouble with it, but I reckon I figured it out. And I'm going to switch back and forth between two different kind of jokes for you. Now, a Kentucky state trooper pulls over a pickup truck on I-40 and says to the driver, "Y'all got any ID?" And the redneck driver replies, "About what?" Now, how do y'all know when you staying in a redneck hotel? Well, when you call the office and say, "I got me a leak in my sink," and the clerk says, "Go right on ahead." Let's see. Oh, did y'all hear about the $3 million Arkansas state lottery?
$3 million, yeah.
The winner gets $3 a year for 1,000,000 years. Now, why did they raise the minimum drinking age in Alabama to 32? Well, it was simple. They wanted to keep alcohol out of all of the high schools. Now, why do all the serial killers want to move to West Virginia? Well, they won't get caught because everybody got the same DNA. I shouldn't tell that one because all my kinfolk are West Virginia coal miners. Now, what do they call reruns of Hee Haw in Mississippi? Documentaries. Now, here's one I reckon I don't understand. It says, "Who invented the toothbrush?" A redneck. Otherwise, it would have been called a teeth brush. These are downright hurt. Okay. In the backwoods of Arkansas, Mr. Stewart's wife goes into labor in the middle of the night, and a doctor is called to help with the delivery. To keep the nervous father busy, the doctor hands him a lantern and says, "Hold this light so I can see what I'm doing." When his baby is born, the redneck starts to lower the lantern. "Hold on a minute," says the doctor. "I think there's another one a-coming." Sure enough, within minutes, another little baby is born. Redneck starts to lower the lantern again. "Hold on a minute," says the doctor. "I think there's another one coming." Sure enough, 10 minutes, there was another little baby born. New father scratches his head in bewilderment and asks the doctor, "You think it's the light that's attracting them?" Now, a sheep, a dog, and a redneck survive a terrible plane crash. They find themselves stranded on the prairie. After a while, get into the habit of going to the mesa every single evening to watch the sun go down. Now, one particular night, The sunset is real beautiful. The breeze is warm and gentle, and the scent of wildflowers hangs in the air. Oh, it's a perfect night for romance. The sheep starts looking better and better to the redneck. Soon he leans over to the sheep and puts his arm around it. And the dog immediately gets jealous and growls fiercely until the redneck takes his arm away. Oh, after that, there weren't no more cuddling. Well, a few weeks later, there's another plane crash, and the only survivor is a beautiful young woman who the redneck nurses back to health. Eventually, she comes to join them on their evening ritual, watching the sunset. One particular night, the sunset is beautiful, the breeze is warm and gentle, and the scent of wildflowers hangs in the air. It's a perfect night for romance. Oh, the redneck starts getting those feelings again. He fights him off as long as he can, but he finally gives in. Leans over to the young woman and whispers in her ear, "Would y'all mind taking the dog for a walk?" That's terrible, ain't it? Lord have mercy. I'm going to go to hell for telling that joke. Now, once upon a time, there was two rednecks, and they were walking towards each other, one with a sack in his hand. When they meet, one of the rednecks says, "Hey, Tommy Ray, what you got in the bag?" "Some chickens." "Well, if I guess how many, can I have one?" "Shoot, if y'all can guess how many I got, I'll give you both of them." The other redneck thinks for a second. "Okay, 5. Didn't need that last sentence, did it? Now here's one. I don't know if I can do this right. The National Poetry Contest had come down to two semifinalists, a Harvard graduate and a redneck. They were given a word. Then, whoa, hold it. Now, that's one of the jokes Wivey did. Sorry about that. I knew she did like 3 of them that I come across. Let's see. What do you call a bunch of tractors sitting outside of McDonald's in Arkansas? Senior prom night.
That's no joke.
What y'all call a pretty girl on the arm of a redneck? Tattoo.
Oh!
How do you know you're at a redneck wedding? Everybody is sitting on the same side of the church. What does XXX stand for? 3 rednecks co-signing the note. What is a redneck's idea of foreplay? "Hey sis, get in the back of the truck." These are bad, ain't they? I'm going to switch gears here. Wait a minute. Hang on. Oh, this here is a story called The Hunter. A hunter goes into the woods to hunt a bear. He carries his trusty 22 gauge rifle with him. After a while, he spots a very large bear, takes aim, and fires. When the smoke clears, the bear is gone. A moment later, the bear taps the hunter on the shoulder and says, "No one shoots at me and gets away with it. You got 2 choices, brother. I can rip your throat out and eat you, or you can drop your trousers, bend over, and I'll screw you." Now the hunter decides that anything is better than death, so he drops his trousers and bends over, and the bear does what he said he would do. After the bear is left, the hunter pulls up his trousers and staggers back into town. Now he's pretty mad, as you can well imagine. He buys a much larger gun and returns to the forest looking for the bear. He sees that same bear and he aims and fires. When the smoke clears, the bear is gone. A moment later, the bear taps the hunter on the shoulder and says, "Y'all know what to do." Afterward, the hunter pulls up his trousers, crawls back into town, and buys a bazooka. Now he's really mad. He returns to the forest, sees the bear, aims and fires. The force of the bazooka blast knocks him flat on his back. Oh, come on. When the smoke clears, the bear is standing over him again and says, "You're not doing this for the hunting, are you?" I like that one. This one here is called the rooster. Now, a farmer's chickens aren't laying as many eggs anymore, so he goes out and buys a new young rooster. As soon as he brings him home, the young rooster rushes into the chicken coop and screws all 100 of the farmer's hens. The farmer is impressed. Needless to say, at lunchtime, the young rooster again screws all 100 hens. The farmer is impressed, but a little bit worried. Next morning, not only is the rooster screwing the hens, but he's also screwing the turkeys, ducks, and even the cow. Now the farmer is seriously concerned. Later that afternoon, the farmer looks out into the barnyard and sees the rooster stretched out on the ground, his wings flung wide open, his eyes closed, and vultures circling overhead. The farmer runs out, looks down at the young rooster's limp body, and says, "Well, you deserved it, you horny bastard." And the young rooster opens one eye, points up at the vultures with his wing, and says, "Shh, they's about to land."
Getting closer.
Now, 5 friends were playing poker and planning their upcoming fishing trip. No, I'm not going to tell this one. Y'all heard this one before. 2 cowboys are having a beer at a bar and talking about sex. First cowboy says, "I like the rodeo position." "Well, can't say I've heard of the rodeo position," the second cowboy says as he takes a drink of beer. "What is it?" "Well, you get a girl down on all fours and mount her from behind. Then you reach around and cup both of her breasts and whisper in her ear, 'Geez, hon, these feel just like your sister's tits.' Then you try to hold on for 8 seconds."